So on that, saying if I could only pick one of these two shoes, which one am I going for? So in today's shoe comparison review, we've got another viewer request here. So we have got the Nike Zoomfly 6 up against the Asics Magic Speed 4. So we're going to go through their similarities, their differences and their key features, and hopefully from that, that'll give you guys a great indication of choosing the right shoe for you. But before we get into it, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with our specs, so both neutral road running shoes and probably both aimed at that faster type running. Now in the price, very evenly matched here. So you're going to pay a little bit more for the Zoomfly in Australia over the Asics, but both the same price in the US. And as you can see there in the weight, they are in my size. Both these two shoes are pretty much the same weight. Can I feel any difference on the foot? Well, I do think the Zoomfly feels a little bit bulkier on the foot, but weight-wise, not so much. But yeah, probably a little bit more nimble on the foot, the Magic Speed. Now in the stack heights there, not much between them, but yes, you do feel a little higher in the Magic Speed, and that's just got to do with the foam being a little bit firmer. Nothing there in the drops. And in our uppers, two very different designs here. So we've got a more of a traditional upper in the Magic Speed, and more of a bit of a futuristic design going on in the Zoomfly. But what they do use in the Zoomfly, so the material here is a engineered woven. So nothing like the engineered mesh that you're gonna find on the Magic Speed, but really fine mesh this, so you can't really see through it. But breathability though is pretty good. Pretty solid heel counter at the back. We've got a really high Achilles flare here and lots of padding around that heel collar, very nice. Our tongue is, it's sewn into the actual side of the shoe, so sewn into the mesh, so it doesn't go anywhere, and it's got a nice little wing fit on the top. It's got some unique padding on the tongue as well, so in the shape of a T-shape, but no laces pressure whatsoever. Our lacing system, pretty standard here. They've got pretty thin, but they're robust laces. Haven't had any issues with these laces coming undone. The lockdown in the Zoomfly, excellent. Now in the fit, true to size in the length, the width is normal, so perfect for me. Toe box volume again is spot on, but I will highlight a great thing about this upper is just the shape of the toe box. So it's got a nice rounded toe box shape, not too pointy, and my feet really do appreciate that shape. Build quality, pretty good here from Nike. Stepping comfort, excellent. Magic Speed, so as I said, more traditional type upper. It's a engineered mesh. Now this breathability in this mesh is still pretty good, but I do remember when I compared this shoe up against the race version, so the Metaspeed Sky and Edge, that the breathability was significantly better in the race shoes over this shoe, but still, this is still a pretty breathable shoe. Really solid heel counter at the back, although it doesn't have a solid cap, it's still pretty solid. We've got less padding around the heel collar in the Magic Speed, but there still is a nice little bit of padding there. Really thin tongue, so no padding at all on, oh actually there is a tiny little bit of padding on this tongue, just there where you tie up. This tongue is also gusseted, so it doesn't go anywhere. Now in the lacing system here, it's very standard again. The laces feel they're probably not as robust, and they are a little bit thicker than what you're going to get in the Zoomfly, and they do soak up a little bit more sweat than the other ones. They are really long laces as well, but again, no issues with them coming undone. Lockdown in the Magic Speed, again, no issues whatsoever. The fit, true to size in the length, but the fit in the Magic Speed is slightly longer than the Zoomfly. And in the toe box as well, I will say that this toe box is slightly wider and it's got a little bit more volume, more so than the Zoomfly 6. Build quality, Asics, always excellent. Stepping comfort, it's okay, but it doesn't have the stepping comfort of the Zoomfly 6. And in our outsole, so two pretty different designs going on here. So we've got the traditional waffle outsole rubber design in the Zoomfly 6. They love to use this waffle design in pretty much all their shoes, and you know why? Because it is just so effective. Durability is right up there with the best, and grip really good in all conditions as well. What we've got here though, plenty of exposed foam through the middle. We've got a huge cavity through the bottom of the shoe there and the exposed fly plate there. They've also got a nice another little window here that's got a little bit more of exposed foam up through the toe there. That's probably just there to save a little bit of weight and also a little bit of rubber back in the high wear areas. But performance wise, this outsole is excellent. I also have no issues with rocks or anything getting caught in this little window there. What they do use in the Magic Speed 4, so I believe this is Asics grip. So full rubber coverage there, so you can see that it is not segmented off like you got in the Zoomfly. So you've got two distinct parts, the forefoot and also just in the rear where you've just got one big horseshoe shape here in the Magic Speed. So I'd rather outsole rubber be segmented off just to let the midsole splay and do its thing. So certainly the outsole design here certainly adds a little bit of rigidity to the bottom of the shoe, but I think they want a nice rigid shoe in the Magic Speed. But again, they've got a window through the middle of the shoe, huge big cavity through the middle of the shoe. So that is also going to add some bounce and softness to this. And you can see how they haven't joined the rubber right up through the bottom again. So that is still going to let that midsole splay a little bit. But performance-wise, Asics grip, it is excellent in all conditions. And again, there's not too much of it here, so it's not super thick. And they have been quite smart with where they put their rubber placement. So again, cutting down our on weight. Durability in this shoe is also excellent. So in the midsole, so both using their brand's EVA and also part super foam. So with the Zoomfly 6, you will see the big Zoom X written on the side of the shoe there, but the majority of foam in this shoe is actually the SRO2 foam, and that is the bottom layer here. So a big thick layer of SRO2 foam. Now what is unique about this SRO2 foam, it is really, really soft in the Zoomfly. So I know they've used it in previous versions, or Nike have used it in previous models of their shoes, and it hasn't been so soft. It's actually sort of muffled the Zoom X and some of those other shoes, but not so in this. So really soft SRO2 rubber, that's our bottom layer. And then above that, they have got their, they say it's a carbon fly plate. So that is full length and pretty much giving the shoe some rigidity. However, I'm dubious that it is a proper carbon plate because I can bend this shoe quite a bit. So it is quite flexible for a carbon plated shoe. Above the carbon plate, they have got their super foam. So the super foam is just under the foot. That's just where we like to see our super foam so we can actually feel it. But yeah, we've just got this top layer of Zoom X foam. And that's where you're going to get some excitement and bounce out of these shoes. So full length Zoom X as well. So it's not just a little portion of super foam, it's a whole slab right under the foot, which I really like. Geometry wise, now they have got a bit of a gentle or early stage rocker here, and this geometry is similar to what you're going to find in the Vaporfly and also the Alphafly, because obviously this is the training partner to those shoes. Yeah, but not so aggressive lean forward in this shoe, just enough, and that's going to accommodate a wide variety of paces. Now with the Magic Speed, so again it uses their brand's EVA foam, which is FF Blast Plus. So that is the majority of the foam in this shoe. So it's not actually FF Turbo like it states on the side. So they both do that clever marketing trick on both these two shoes. They both brag about the super foam, but the super foam is just in smaller segments. So especially in the Magic Speed. So the FF Turbo super foam in this shoe is actually just a small puck under the forefoot. So like a little cutout like this. But obviously that's where you're going to feel it once you start hitting this shoe with pace. So the majority, as I said, the majority of the foam in this shoe though is actually FF Blast Plus. So we've got two layers of that. We've got a top layer, and then we've got their carbon plate, or carbon resin plate I think it is, because again this shoe, to say it's got a carbon plate, is also flexible for a shoe that's got a carbon plate, because you can't do that with a real carbon plate because it will crack. So this one I suspect again is it's pretty similar to what you're going to find in the Zoomfly, so I think it's a carbon resin. But this one is a stiffer shoe than the Zoomfly. And then again, as I said, we've got another layer of the FF Turbo Plus underneath that carbon plate, and we've also got that puck. So that FF turbo puck in the forefoot that you can't really feel jogging around at speed, but once you start picking up the pace, you can start digging into it. So although the specs are pretty evenly matched, these rides though are totally different. So Zoomfly 6, so this is going to give you a nice, soft, bouncy ride, especially if you're landing through the heel and through the midfoot. So yeah, lots of squish, lots of bounce, but very, very enjoyable. Now the shoe does turn responsive and firms up a little bit as you come through into the forefoot and you toe off. And as you get onto this gentle rocker, so it can get up and going when it wants to, and it can feel quite poppy and responsive. But I would describe this ride mostly as soft and bouncy. It doesn't actually feel overly fast when you put the shoe on. It's just super comfortable, nice and soft. But it's surprising how well it handles the pace when you want to pick it up. So if you start, start winding it up a little bit, you start getting up on that forefoot, you start rolling, then you look down at the watch and you go, yeah, this thing really hums along, even though it doesn't feel, as I said, it doesn't feel like a super fast, responsive shoe, where you're going to get the opposite feeling in the Magic Speed. So this one, just jogging around and stuff, it feels quite clunky, a little bit stiff, not too much bounce. But once you get going in this shoe, so this is where this shoe comes alive. So this one comes alive the faster you run at it. So once you start putting some force through the forefoot here, start landing on that super foam, start utilizing this rocker, yeah, you get a really nice, snappy, responsive ride. So this one certainly engineered towards those quicker paces. So this one for me is really like a pure workout shoe, where this one has just got lots of versatility, still a great workout shoe, but yeah, this one's got far more range, where this one really just hones in to those really fast workouts and those fast runs. And best use, so with the Zoomfly, this one is going to pretty much handle anything that you throw at it because it feels great at all paces. Great to jog in, great to run fast in, great to go long in. So you can pretty much tick it off for all. It probably just lacks that wow factor that those really top-end super shoes do have. Now, with the Magic Speed 4, if you haven't worked it out already, this for me, a pure workout shoe. I don't really think it's suitable for just jogging around. This one really comes alive. As I said, the faster you go in it, the better it feels. So the more you're up on this rocker and up on that toe, the more you get out of the shoe. It feels great at your threshold efforts, tempo, 5K, 10K efforts. This one is good to go for that. Can you wear this one for a long one? Well, yeah, you probably could, but I'd only probably use it if I've got some speed work in it, or my long runs are going to be like done at a steady pace. So not a bad matchup here, but I do think the Zoomfly 6 wins in most departments here, except for that really top-end speed stuff. So if you want to, as I said, you want to hit a 5K PB, I think I'm going to reach for the Magic Speed over the Zoomfly 6, but everything else, I'm going to be reaching for the Zoomfly 6 over the Magic Speed. But really, these rides are, really just chalk and cheese. Just so versatile, and this one just really honed into that fast running. Well, that's for my experience anyway. So on that, saying if I could only pick one of these two shoes, which one am I going for? Well, I'm going to go for the Zoomfly 6. It's just so versatile. It is really the best do-it-all shoe for me on the market. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. Any questions you've got regarding these two shoes, please just ask me in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.